The most important meal of the day, second breakfast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another Second Breakfast podcast. I'm Andy Roth alongside Phil Duvall. Say hi, Phil.
Hello, Andy. Hello, everyone on Second Breakfast. I could not be more excited about being back with you. It's been, well, we'll call it a hiatus.
Yeah.
Andy, the last 8 months have been kind of a blur. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. And I'm, you know what? I'm done making promises for these people. But I'm going to tell them this. No promises. Andy and I love what we do. We're going to do it as often as we can. That's all I'm going to say. That's not a promise. It's just a reality.
He's like, sounds like a promise. What just
No,
happened?
because
Sounds like a
I'm not
promise.
gonna say anything about the frequency. I'm not gonna say anything about the quality. Let's be honest.
No,
Gonna. I promise you nothing in those regards. I can only say that we're having a great time whenever we get together,
It's true.
and I just see no reason for us to ever stop.
That's right. That's right. Yes, I had things to say, but just the beauty of your prose blew it out of my mind.
I know. I know.
I
It's why they pay me the small bucks.
Is that why?
I've never really been able to quite understand why people pay me
Sure.
to do
No,
anything.
that's
I'd probably make more money if I understood why they paid me, because then I could maximize that and et cetera, et cetera. Andy, we skipped out on July, and I think everybody saw terrible movies because of it. Also,
true.
July was, can I just say, fallow. Fallow.
Phil.
July felt a little bit like February.
Phil.
I'm not going to, I mean, that's how I feel.
Phil.
Yeah.
I saw Transformers 4.
You know what? That's on you.
I'm not asking for sympathy.
Did you see the Rise of the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes 2, though?
I did.
Because it was really good.
I know. And folks, I don't know if you know this or I don't know if you remember this, but Phil is not the biggest fan in the world of the first one, but for valid reasons. I happen to disagree with him, but only because those reasons don't
I saw
as
the
much to me.
first one, and I saw the first one again, and I would actually love to have a larger conversation about that sometime, because
okay.
my concerns with it may not actually be the mistake of the filmmakers.
Might be the mistake of the world.
It might be humanity's utter disaster.
Sure.
Because I watched it again the day. I watched the Dawn the same day I watched the Rise, or I watched the Rise the same day I watched Dawn. I did too many words.
Right.
Those titles are completely and utterly interchangeable.
It's true. That's right. You're right.
That being said,
Yeah.
the second one,
Hobbit,
the second one, the most recent one, the other one, with the one caveat that clearly, and it's a big caveat for me, they just don't care about women. I mean, they just don't care. It's not even like they're misogynist, because a misogynist hates women,
Right. It's like
rather than
women
just
exist?
pretending they don't exist.
That's true.
That's
right.
That's
That's true. That's
and
true.
some would quibble with me and say, no, that's misogyny, latently perhaps. But it was a
There's no
a
misogyny like latent misogyny, really. I mean, if you're gonna go with misogyny, that's the one to go with.
I suppose you're wondering why I brought you here, Mr. Bond.
A lot of people listen to our show, Phil. They don't know that you've just done something stupid to your eye. Okay.
Well, let's listen. Let's talk about August, because August is whatever the opposite of fallow is.
It's true. Also,
Fruitful.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I just want to put it out there.
Andy, sweet sassy Molassy.
Right. The other thing I wanted to say was Guardians of the Galaxy.
I want to point out at this time that I am not a person who reads comic books.
Right.
And I have gone on record as saying I'm really tired of comic book movies and superhero movies.
Folks, it's true. He has.
I am out of my mind excited for Guardians of the Galaxy.
My mind.
Flames of excitement.
So, yeah.
Burning.
So, I will say this. Here is how excited I am for this movie. I am so excited that the thing that I'm getting annoyed with and I'm getting tired of just makes me more excited for the movie. So, my girlfriend pointed out that we've seen that trailer, the trailer,
so many times,
8 bazillion times, and I was like, I'm getting tired of that trailer, but because it's only been that trailer, and yeah, there have been other trailers, and I've seen a little bit more footage. I've only seen 2.5 minutes of the movie.
I agree. There's so little that we really know.
Yes.
I mean, we literally don't
Yes.
know anything about the raccoon character.
Yes.
Other than that he screams and shoots a gun and hangs out with a tree. That's
Yes.
really all we know.
That's right. That's right. It's true. It's true.
You don't understand. Batista is in this movie. Like, I know that you know that that's true, but I don't think you know what that means to me.
Tell me what that means to you.
I don't know that I can tell you. I mean, it's like, I'm
This
not
is
sure
gonna
the
be
words.
This is going to be a super boring podcast, my friend.
Nah, he's a wrestler who has his own flaws, but I left wrestling for a period of time. I left my fandom for well over a decade.
Okay.
And I have a friend who works for the company, and got me back into it. Got me to watch WrestleMania with him a few years back. And when I did, I decided I'm back in. I'm
Sure.
for better and for worse, warts and all. I am a wrestling fan. And when I decided to get back in, Batista was one of the guys that I really gravitated towards for various reasons. Most of them.
A hero, a villain.
So the terms, good question, Andy, and let me answer. The terms that are famously used in wrestling are a face, which is babyface,
and
which is
heel.
a good guy, and heel, which
Sure.
is a bad guy. You're a heel. So the Batista was that wonderful sort of weird hybrid face heel. He wasn't quite kind of like, well, he was a face when I started watching, but a face that didn't necessarily like Hulk Hogan stood for goodness and rightness
Well,
and the
sure.
American way. And the Ultimate Warrior just kind of came in and was crazy pants and everybody loved him. So he was a face, Warrior was a face, but like not the same, not because he stood for anything good. Like just because he was just ridiculous and people loved him.
Sure.
Like he was almost a face essentially for being incredibly like having a great magnitude. I'm sorry, what's that word? What I'm looking
Magnetism?
for? That's the word. A great magnetism, a strong magnetism, and a great charisma that people bought into, and not being a bad guy.
Sure.
Batista was very similar in that
Okay,
sense.
okay.
Although I'm not that he has the charisma that the Warrior had, because
No one.
literally no one ever has or will.
Here's the deal. Not ever a wrestling fan, and yet
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do.
So Batista has never transcended that, but he came out and he had this like this totally badass music that came with him, and like these machine gun sounds where these fireworks went off, and he would do this machine gun like thing and would slap his legs and be like, "Rah!" And I love that stuff. I'm Andy. I love it. I love it. So I saw him I was starstruck. I actually saw him at my gym in the DC area once, which was very exciting for me. So he never reached that level of Hulk Hogan love, because we're grown-ups now. Like nothing's going to take that.
Oh, sure.
But I was and then he left wrestling for a while. He's back now. But long story short, he's in Guardians, and there are a few wrestlers that you could tell me were in Guardians that I would be excited about. But Batista, I'm like,
Okay.
this can only... can we talk about Guardians of the Galaxy for a minute?
Actually, before we do that, I like.
Oh, we don't even talked about at all what we're doing today.
Exactly. Now,
Ladies and gentlemen, August.
This was on purpose, because that's how excited I am for Guardians of the Galaxy. Folks, just about every month, pay no attention to the fact that we skipped July. Just about every month, we do a month preview, and we tell you we're not going to go over every movie coming out this month. It's not going to happen. You don't want it to happen. Yeah,
No.
you might want it to happen, but even if you do, we're not going to do it. So there. We divide the movies that we want to talk about into 3 categories. And they don't necessarily have anything to do with quality. Certainly not how good they actually end up being, but not even how good we think they're going to end up being. Here are the categories, and Phil, if you could explain them, please. First one. Can't wait.
Can't hardly wait.
Can't hardly wait. That's right. That's right.
Can't hardly wait. I think this one defies explanation, but you know what? I'm all about defying things. The explanation...
I don't think
It
it
goes like-
defies it all.
Andy. Shh, don't speak.
Just doesn't
Don't,
defy it all.
Andy, don't. Andy, listen.
It's literally opposite
I
of
don't-
defying explanation.
It's eponymous?
It's exactly what it's.
But that's kind of my point. Like, it's like why it needs no introduction.
Not
These
the
are
same
things
thing.
for... I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I am.
I'm not saying
and
you're
I
wrong.
don't-
I'm saying I hate you.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I was wrong. My words just are useless. I'm just a big pot of useless words.
Phil, I love your big pot of
Was
useless
it
words.
George W. Bush at one of the foreign correspondence dinners that said, "My wife has often said my mouth is the place where words go to die." He married a librarian. Can we talk about the irony? Like, can we please? He married a librarian. Okay.
Awesome.
Anyways, it is awesome.
That is awesome. Yes.
So, anyways, these are movies for which we have no reservation. We just can't hardly wait. If tickets were available right now, I'd have them. If I didn't have a family, I would be sitting in line right now for 3 weeks ahead to see movies that are coming out. Movies that just, in our minds, when we watch the trailers, look at the press, hear about them, we think things like, this is why I go to the movies.
Yes.
Will they end up being any good? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
As time gets closer, will we actually see them in the theaters? Maybe not. I hate to tell you. Maybe not.
Yep. It's true. That's true.
Nevertheless. Can't hardly wait for them to come out.
It's true.
No reservation. Next
category. Fool me once.
Fool me once, shame on you. And here's the thing. We used to also call this category tricked into seeing.
It's true.
These are movies that we tell ourselves, I can't wait. You know what? These are movies that almost went into the can't hardly wait category, except
there are reservations.
There's just something about it. And by the way, movies in the Fool Me Once category could easily be the best movies of the month, if not the year.
Absolutely. No question.
No question.
Yeah.
But there's just that thing in the back of your head that goes, do I really?
Yes.
Is this a thing?
Yep.
And that's the second category.
Third category, what the H?
What the H? Here's the deal. This isn't good or bad.
That's
Not
right.
necessarily.
That's right.
Or rather, it can be good and bad. What the H is a both and category where literally you watch a preview or you read coverage on something or you see the cast or you hear the premise, and before you say, I want to see that or I don't want to see that, you just go, what the H? Yeah, that's it. That's the whole deal.
So
it's a great, by the way, it's a great category.
No, love it. Love it. So, Guardians of the Galaxy. Phil, Guardians of the Galaxy. Why don't you start us off, Guardians of the Galaxy, with Guardians of the Galaxy, what might be in your Guardians of the Galaxy Can't Hardly Wait category?
Glad you mentioned this, Andy. But before Guardians of the Galaxy to August, there's a couple of things that I want to say very briefly, and they will be brief.
Please do.
Out towards the end of July that I have not seen yet. You've already seen one of them. I have not seen them yet, and my thought is the chances are if anyone sees these two movies, it's actually going to be in August for the most part. And I want to say that I can't hardly wait for either of them.
Okay.
And even though they're both already out.
Yes.
So that's a weird thing to say for something, but I've been on vacation. Not on vacation. I just started vacation, so I'm going to see these movies. I was away in the wilderness for a week, and nothing happened. The first one is the Jean Le Carre spy movie, A Most Wanted Man.
Yes.
Which is the last starring role of Philip Seymour Hoffman, and looks amazing.
Yeah.
And kind of looks like he might win an Oscar for Best Actor posthumously.
Sure.
Like, it's completely within the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Yes.
Listen, we did a whole podcast when he died, so I'm not going to get into all that. Here's the thing. If you're watching this or listening to this, you're already a movie fan. So it's not like we have to tell you this, but seriously, everything that people said about Philip Seymour Hoffman as an actor is true.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it was like when Jimmy Dean died. I'm sorry, not the pork farmer. When James Dean died, and I called him Jimmy, me and my friends. When James Dean died, and he'd really only starred in 3 movies, I imagine, or no, 2, and one hadn't even come out yet. I imagine that the sort of like talk about him must have been pretty ridiculous in terms of if people were saying that he would be considered one of the great film actors of all time and iconic figures, there must have been a lot of people going, just settle down.
Right. Calm down.
Well, Philip Seymour Hoffman died too young, and he was in way more than 3 things.
Yes. Yep.
And I just can't wait to see this. And I feel actually like it might end up being like Enough Said,
Yeah.
where I actually do end up waiting for a really long time because I'm almost scared to watch something that I know will be the last thing.
Sure. Sure.
Because my feelings for Philip Seymour Hoffman are actually very similar to my feelings for James Gandolfini. The other one you've already seen, I think, is Boyhood.
No, that's this weekend. It comes out
Okay.
on Friday by me. It comes out
Okay,
on Friday
so
by me.
Richard Linklater, who is hit and miss for me. Andy, I think, is a bigger fan of his. He's also a Texan like Andy. And actually, I mean like a Texan like Andy in the sense that neither of them seems Texan by the sort of your definitions. If you're like, somebody who thinks about 10-gallon hats and big shoes and,
Right. Also, the 20th century called.
But you're a Texan.
No, I am.
And Linklater is too in a very interesting way. And I'm not a huge I don't automatically see things he did, but what he's done is something that we've all dreamed about doing, quite honestly. It's that simple. Like, he took a movie where he filmed the same actors over was it a 10-year period?
12-year period. 12-year
And made a movie.
I mean, unbelievable.
This is one of those things that we dream about. Like this is what you want someone to do.
Right.
And a good filmmaker did it.
Right.
So literally, there's nothing, and it's been getting great reviews, but even if it didn't, there's nothing you could say to me that would not make this an exciting thing for me to see.
Yes.
Andy, this is one of those reasons why people make movies.
So beautifully said. I have a couple things to say. One, agreed with everything you've said. Also, have you watched Synecdoche, New York yet?
Nope.
When you do, that will.
Okay.
No. This is just a prediction. All right. When you do, that will be the next podcast we do. It is
Great.
It is.
Hey, great.
Let me put it this way.
We're gonna have Saba on and talk about that, right?
Whatever you want. The last full decade of Roger Ebert's life, he called it the best movie of the decade. So
Oh, wow.
There's that. So agreed on everything you said about Philip Seymour Hoffman and A Most Wanted Man. Very excited to see that. Boyhood. Here's why you're not all in on Richard Linklater, and it's very simple. It's because you haven't watched the before movies.
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one or third one. I believe that you're right.
Right. You need to watch it again.
Andy, I did just watch it again.
Oh, okay.
And really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Although I still think it's fine. I think that probably it gets even better knowing the second and the third one have happened and are amazing.
I mean,
I doubt that the first one is the best one.
I don't even know how to answer that. And what I mean by that, what I mean by that is like, what's the best Lord of the Rings movie? Right? Like it's
I know
all
that's
over
what I
the place.
figured. But let me say this: that's what I figured you meant,
Sure.
and that's fine. So,
But
I'm
I also
not,
didn't see the first two movies in anticipation of the third. I saw the first movie after the second one had come out, but maybe even before I had heard that the third one was even being made. So, yes. I just can't wait for you to see the other two movies.
Andy, me neither.
And here's the deal. Like, I don't know any, like, I think I've said this to you. I think I've said it on the air, but I'll say it again. The before sunrise, before sunset, before midnight trilogy needs to be talked about as one of the greatest movie trilogies of all time. It is that good. It is, and what's interesting is, and the reason I bring it up and the reason I harp on it is because it's clear, it's obvious that like the guy who made those movies would make Boyhood, because he clearly has an interest in the passage of time. It is the same couple. The before movies are a romance, basically a romantic comedy, but more just straight romance, and the male and female leads are the same. It's Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, and you see them there. You don't need to CGI it because he waits 9 years between the movies, right? So
this is just a guy who doesn't give a crap about his career. He just wants to make the things he wants to make, and I love that to pieces.
And
love it to pieces.
Here's how much I love Ethan Hawke with Richard Linklater. I saw Ethan Hawke in Getaway.
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
I know.
Nobody else does.
I know.
right?
No, I actually I know you're
With
right.
Selena Gomez and 5 seconds of the weirdest John Voight ever. Which, let's be honest, that means something. The weirdest John Voight ever is not the least weird thing in the world. Good. I love those. What do you have in your can't hardly wait category for August?
Well, there's
That's
a little
actually
movie
in
by the
August.
name of Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't know it.
Well, it's a Marvel film, Andy. It's about a bunch of superheroes that aren't really superheroes. It's about a bunch of people who aren't superheroes. I guess they're like criminals and weirdos who save the galaxy. Starring Chris Pratt of Parks and Rec fame, Batista of WWE fame, Zoe Saldana of Every Time They Need a Hot Black Chick in every action movie for the last 7 years fame, the voice of Bradley Cooper, which is ridiculous. I guess they had too many face-hurtingly good-looking people, so they just made him a raccoon, and a big tree played by Vin Diesel, with John C. Reilly in it and Benicio del Toro. I mean, why are we even still talking?
Right.
I should be at the theater.
Glenn
Every
Close,
preview, and I've stopped watching them at this point. I've stopped watching them.
Sure.
Everything we know about this movie has been pitch perfect. This is the best case scenario. And
Yep.
and everything that's come out about it has been good too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
going to be, you know what? It doesn't feel like an action film. It feels like an adventure film.
Look, I'm going to say something, and I don't want to go overboard. So I'm not comparing it to these movies, right?
Okay.
But more than any movie this year, and it's still a small chance, but more than any movie this year, Guardians of the Galaxy has the potential to be a certain generation's Star Wars, or Raiders of the Lost Ark, or Lord of the Rings. And what I mean by that is this: Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, of the Rise of the Apes.
2, Electric Boogaloo, yes.
Yes, was a magnificent movie.
Sure.
X-Men: Days of Future Past, very, very good. Captain America 2, Winter Soldier, very good, right? Boyhood, maybe the best movie of the year. Most Wanted Man, maybe the best movie of the year. But in terms of it inspiring young people to make movies, in terms of inspiring people to talk about movies, in terms of showing that a well-made movie can be accessible and rousing, I don't see anything else on the radar that holds a candle to this. And even if this movie has a 1 in 100 chance of being it, it's the only movie this year that has that good of a chance. That's there. I've said my piece and counted to 3.
I'm just going to say one thing to add to that. I'm not sure I agree with you about that, but that's okay. I'm interested that you even said it. I'm interested that you even said it. The only thing I'm going to say right this moment,
Tell me.
this is going to be the highest grossing film of this year.
Wow.
This
What's
is going to be the highest grossing film of this year.
What's interesting is, in 2 completely different arenas, we just said equally risky things.
Yep, agreed. This movie will make between $300 and $400 million domestic,
Sure.
not international.
Sure.
This will be the highest grossing film of the year. And because people are going to like it. Yeah, let's move on.
What else you got?
A movie by the name of Calvary, Andy.
Okay.
Calvary's set in Ireland. It's starring a bunch of Irish people.
Yep.
Brendan Gleeson, Chris
Yep.
O'Dowd, the guy from The Wire, Tom Carcetti from The Wire, who's also on Game of Thrones,
Right. Aiden
and was in a movie with John Cena called 16 Rounds, which was glorious.
Awesome.
I don't care what his name is. That really pretty redhead who's in the Sherlock Holmes movies as Watson's wife. I mean, she is
Sure.
just a knockout.
Sure.
And it's a movie with the premise where someone threatens to kill this priest, played by Brendan Gleeson. And it's sort of like a mystery, but not a mystery like a Sherlock Holmes movie, like a mystery like, I don't know, that causes him to think about his whole life. And I watched the preview. It's about a religious guy. He's a priest. He wears the cassock. He walks around. It's Brendan Gleeson. He's got a glorious beard, like the kind that looks just like not like someone who's trying to have a beard, but like someone who has a beard.
Right.
And his red hair, and it just looks like all the things I want in a fall movie happening in August.
Yeah. Yes.
It looks like it's not. It looks like serious without trying. Like not like it's trying to be serious. Like it just is serious.
Yeah.
Like it's a movie to be reckoned with.
Yes.
I'm so excited. Watch the previews for this movie.
Yes.
Comes out this weekend.
Love it. Love everything. I don't. It didn't make my list because it didn't make the list of the movies that are coming out in August. Probably because I don't live in New York or LA.
Sure.
But count me in. Yes, no question.
I just, by the way, for the record, for our viewing and listening public, I use Flickster as an application on my Telefono, and for the Flickster application, I just look at the upcoming movies and I figure out what I care about. And the funny thing is that means they may never show up where I am.
Sure, fair enough.
So those are like the official release dates.
What else you got? You got anything
for the month of August?
Yeah, for Can't
Yeah, I
Hardly
got
Wait?
5 more movies.
For Can't Hardly Wait.
Yes.
Wow.
Andy, I am psyched for August.
Shoot.
This is, August 13th brings a little movie called Let's Be Cops, which looks like it's going to be the funniest thing that happened to my face in decades.
Here's the deal. Did you watch Happy Endings?
Nope.
I mean, you would love that show. You would love that show like I love zombies. It is outrageously funny. It is outrageously funny. And Damon Wayans Jr.
Is it streaming somewhere?
Probably.
Okay. Then I'll probably watch it.
It's glorious. It's something you can watch with your wife. It's hilarious. It's laugh out loud funny, like crying, holding your sides funny. It is one of the best. It's. I think it's the equal of New Girl, which is of course where we all know Jake Johnson from.
Fair enough.
And those are the 2 stars of the movie, and it is
Jake Johnson and
Damon Wayans Jr.
Damon Wayans Jr. Damon Wayans 2. Wayans Boogaloo. Is he the funniest Wayans alive? Probably.
He might be.
Here's the thing. The movie looks
It looks so
funny.
It looks so funny.
I laugh out loud during the previews, and I've seen the same previews over and over again. Watch the Red Band trailer for Let's Be Cops, and if you don't still want to see this movie, I can't help you as a human being.
It's true. That's true.
Okay?
That's true.
Speaking of zombies, Andy, I assume this is on your list, by the way, Let's Be Cops.
It is. We have now reached the end of my Can't Hardly Wait category.
Okay.
Yes, go for it.
Well then let me school you a little bit.
Oh boy.
Let me take you to school.
Okay.
Andy, do you like zombies?
You know what? I do.
Andy, do you like Aubrey Plaza?
I do.
And do you like Dane DeHaan?
No T, I don't think, but
Doesn't really matter. He's a fake name.
In terms, yeah. I feel like that shows you just how much I like him.
Do you like John C. Reilly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. How about a romantic comedy starring all those people with Aubrey Plaza as a zombie, and it's called Life After Beth, and it comes out on August 15th. Andy, what if I were to tell you about a movie? A zombie romantic comedy starring Aubrey Plaza, Dane DeHaan, and John C. Reilly.
Look.
It's only on your Can't Hardly Wait list because you haven't heard of it or seen the preview. That's the only answer.
No. It's on my Fool Me Once. It's on my Fool Me Once.
Failure.
No, I don't think so. It hasn't gotten great press. It hasn't gotten great press. Look, ask me if I want this movie to be good.
Andy, do you want this movie to be good?
Literally more than anything else this month, maybe even more than Guardians of the Galaxy, because I feel very protective of zombie movies of all stripes. I show people Fido for crying out loud, okay?
I know. Andy.
I know you
know. I know. Not just I know, but I know.
I own the Blu-ray of Survival of the Dead. So, I'm very protective of
You're
the
such
zombies.
a failure.
I am. That is a true failure. I'm so worried about it. I have created my own reservations. And the trailer didn't have me at hello. That's all I'll say. The trailer didn't have me at hello.
When she's tied to the washing machine or the oven and she's trying to run around anyway. No.
I didn't say it never got me. I enjoyed it.
I'm not going to question your love for zombies right now. Not in front of all these people.
Step carefully my friend.
I'm not going to. Not in front of all these people. Not live on National Podcast Vision. But
Wow.
but I might question your love for Aubrey Plaza. And
That's okay. That's okay. I'm
not okay with
that.
me. And shouldn't be okay with it. Andy, I have 3 more movies that I cannot hardly wait for.
Hold on, folks.
Okay.
I'm gonna inject a little culture into this. You totally just did like the Mark Antony speech from Julius Caesar. And Brutus is an honorable man, and so by the end of it, like everyone's like Brutus. Like I want to tear Brutus's head off. Oh,
Andy,
but Andy loves zombie movies. Go ahead.
Andy, can I say something about that?
Please do.
I've never seen that play, and I don't have an opinion about that.
Did you go to school in America?
Yeah.
You didn't read Julius Caesar?
Nope. And I was a theater major.
Explains so much. Continue.
It does, actually. It explains what a terrible education I got at Tufts University. What a piece of crap school that was. Anyways.
I read it in high school there, tough guy.
I read Hamlet in high school. Okay, I'm all set. And I watched Franco Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet in junior high. So I think we're all set.
Whoa. That's whoa.
It was amazing.
and you instantly sprouted into puberty.
It was the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
That's when that
Let's
happened.
just be clear.
Go ahead.
Okay. There's a little movie written and directed by Matthew Weiner, creator of Mad Men.
Sure.
Starring Zach Galifianakis, Owen Wilson, and Amy Poehler.
Okay.
Called Are You Here?
Mm-hmm.
About a family whose dad dies and leaves the Zach Galifianakis character, who shockingly is the black sheep, the family estate.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer looks amazing. The writer-director is the writer-director of, I'm going to say it, the best show on television, which has been the best show on television for at least the last 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And has a cast that I unabashedly love, playing comic roles, but not straight comedy. The preview looked amazing. And I can't, Andy, I can't hardly wait for it.
It's an oversight. It didn't make my list. I have seen the trailer. I loved it. I am excited for it.
Good. Have you seen the trailer for Love is Strange, the next movie on my Can't Hardly Wait
I
list?
haven't even heard of Love is Strange.
Andy, neither had I. Let me paint you a little picture.
Paint away.
Andy, do you like Alfred Molina?
We're playing this game again. I do.
Andy, do you like John Lithgow?
I do.
Andy, how do you feel about Marissa Tomei?
I'm a fan.
What if I were to tell you that John Lithgow and Alfred Molina play an old gay couple who have been together forever, who both have beards and look adorable? Marissa Tomei being, I guess, one of their daughters somehow. I haven't done the biology or the math. And they end up, I guess the Alfred Molina character is a teacher at a Catholic school. Gay marriage gets legalized. They get married. He gets fired.
Ooh.
They end up having to move in with their relatives and act old and gay. Andy, and it's only an hour and a half long.
I know. That's like catnip to you.
Oh my god! I love movies that are under 2 hours. If you are under 2 hours, you almost have to do nothing else to get me interested in you. Almost. This is and it's called Love is Strange. In the preview, when we get off of the Skype here and you're done doing the editing and the whatnot, watch the trailer for Love is Strange.
Okay, I will.
And look, we all know that I have a soft spot for aging gay men. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest about that. Okay, let's just and we all know that I have a soft spot for both John Lithgow, which I Facebook admitted recently, and if we don't know how I feel about Alfred Molina, let's just throw this on the table. Love Alfred Molina.
Oh yeah, totally.
These two men playing gay partners, being spouses, really, not like, not lovers, not.
No.
It's just like this is a movie where, at least from what I saw from the preview, it's not a movie about their relationship.
Right.
They're married. This is a thing.
Right.
It's like them getting old together and trying to deal with like the next generation and their weird circumstances.
Sure.
I could not be more pleased to. I could not hardly wait more or less. Whichever one.
Whichever one means you're excited. Yeah,
that's the thing.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay. I mean, you can't put it on the list without looking at it. I understand.
No, of course. But I believe that it would make the list and this category. I will say this: I find it you're very into beards. This podcast.
Listen, a lot of people have been growing beards lately. It's this hipster thing where they all grow beards, and I feel like they're growing beards to prove points. It reminds me a lot of right after 9/11 when everyone went out and bought American flags. Like, to prove something about themselves.
Sure.
You know what happened on September 12th? My dad went out and put the American flag up because it was another day. He put it up every day because my dad was an American, and that's what he did. It was his duty. September 11th didn't change anything for him. He didn't have to prove anything. This is how I feel about beards. And when men like Brendan Gleeson and John Lithgow and Alfred Molina have beards, it's just a thing they have. They're not trying to prove anything. They got nothing to show for it. It's not a trend. It's not hip or cool. When beards go away, some of us will still have them. When the trend is over and people put away their American flags and shave their faces and stop smoking cigars, some of us will still be doing these things. When bourbon isn't cool, some of us will still drink bourbon. That's my only point. So that's all I'm trying to say. That's it. Why did you have to get me on this tangent? This is your fault. I was perfectly content not to talk about this.
This is my fault. I am going to, on my tombstone, have them engrave, like, he couldn't leave well enough alone, and he...
You couldn't? Andy? Here lies Andy Roth. He couldn't leave well enough alone, and let me tell you why. Because I was the one who designed the gravestone. And it just goes on, and the font gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Awesome.
And we keep spinning and spinning. I have one last movie on my Can't Hardly Wait list. Let's move on.
Okay.
It's called The One I Love. It's a Mark Duplass movie. And it's Mark Duplass and Elizabeth Moss.
Wow.
Together.
Awesome.
Elizabeth Moss in Mad Men. You may have heard about Mad Men. I mentioned it recently because it's the greatest television show on television right now and has been for a number of years. Okay. Elizabeth Moss is one of the greatest actors on television right now. She is amazing. Mark Duplass. Andy, how do you feel about Mark Duplass movies?
Love the man.
Yeah. It's one of those movies. He didn't direct it, but he and his brother were executive producers. Okay. And it's a total mumblecore movie.
I gotta use Flickster because you're hearing about a lot of movies I'm not hearing about.
The downside is I don't necessarily end up seeing them. Like me seeing them on Flickster is the only time they show up until they're on DirecTV or something. I don't know. Fair. Okay. But nevertheless, The One I Love looks it reminds me of what is that movie recently that they did, Safety Not Guaranteed? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Where it looks a little odd and off kilter and looks straightforward until it's not.
Sure.
So that's all.
Well,
The One I Love.
Safety Not Guaranteed, one of my favorites over the last couple of years. So,
well, there you go. I'm ready to move on to the Fool Me Once category.
Me too.
Andy, why don't you start? Because I've been talking.
Oh, woof. I'm just gonna list them, and then we can go back to talk about the ones that you want to talk about.
Sure.
And these are also ones that we haven't talked about, which I think is only Life After Beth. And again, I want it to be good. I want it to be the best movie.
I know you do.
List.
I know. Fool Me Once is a category filled with hope.
That's right.
And fear.
Get On Up, the story of James Brown.
Yep.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The 100-Foot Journey.
Mm-hmm.
Into the Storm.
Nope.
About Alex.
Yes.
The Expendables 3.
Sigh.
The Last of Robin Hood.
Don't even know what you're talking about.
You're so excited. You're so excited. And As Above, So Below.
Okay, you're going to have to tell me more about that in a little bit. Okay. To your Fool Me Once category, I want to add a movie called What If.
Okay.
A movie called The Trip to Italy.
Sure.
A movie called When the Game Stands Tall.
Woof.
And a movie called The Calling.
Okay.
But let's talk about Get On Up. I think that's the appropriate thing to do.
Yeah. I don't love biopics.
Nope.
As a general rule. Um, I Chadwick Boseman played Jackie Robinson and was the reason that 42 didn't kind of work for me. I don't think he was.
I thought it was the plotting, terrible script and the overwrought directing.
May very well have been.
And the ham-fisted acting by Harrison Ford, but it could also have been Chadwick Boseman. Go ahead.
Here's the deal. In a movie about Jackie Robinson has to pop off the screen. I don't care if the script is good. I'm not saying it didn't make his job harder. You know what I mean? Like
I do, Andy.
Right?
I do.
Like
42, they cast a guy who wasn't a star.
Yep.
And 42 should have made him a star.
Yes.
And it didn't.
That's right. I will say this. You know what I thoroughly enjoyed him in?
What?
It's going
Tell
to
me.
blow your mind, and also you're going to be very disappointed in me.
Andy, blow away.
Draft Day.
I haven't even seen it, and you have. I'm so jealous of you right now.
Yeah.
So he was really good in it. So
jealous?
there's potential. Yes, I want to see Draft Day.
It's a much smaller role. It's not his movie. He doesn't have to carry anything, but he is really he's winning in it.
Here's the deal.
Put it that way.
He's
winning in it.
This is as close to a movie can be on my can't hardly wait list without getting on there.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Do you know my feelings about James Brown?
I think I do.
I heart James Brown.
Yes.
Big.
Right.
James Brown is one of the true geniuses of American music.
Mm-hmm.
He is a truly larger-than-life figure and deserves, if people deserve biopics or biopics or however we say it, I don't care. If anybody deserves it, it's James Brown.
Sure.
I don't know why anyone would deserve it. I'm not sure that I think you're right. They're kind of like weird greatest hits movies.
Right. Why
and
wouldn't
it's
I
hard
just
to figure
listen to a greatest hits album if it's about a musician?
Right.
Yeah.
But there's so much about James Brown's life, and it's got Viola Davis in it, Octavia Spencer.
Yes.
I mean, the cast is phenomenal.
Another reason you
like
need to see
42.
Snowpiercer. Another reason you need to see Snowpiercer. Octavia Spencer. She is great.
I don't doubt it. You know, that Viola Davis is in my top 5 of current working actors.
Are you going to watch her TV
Love
show?
Viola Davis. I don't have a choice. I'd be a liar. I'd be a liar if I didn't.
I wouldn't call you on it, but I'm glad you.
I'd call myself on it.
I'm glad to see you still have your trademark integrity. Continue.
She is a wonder. She is a wondrous actor.
I love her, of course.
So I want this to be good.
Sure.
The fact that they've chosen Chadwick Boseman either means that he just is it, and we haven't figured it out yet.
Right.
Or something else, and I'm like, what are they doing here?
Right.
It just
yes.
The fact that they didn't have a famous star to do this, like a Don Cheadle type guy or a Terrence Howard type guy.
Right.
And I'm not saying either of those guys would have been right for the role, and it's not fair of me just to list black actors and go, well, there's a certain number of black actors, it should work.
Right.
I know that's like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I almost feel like it would have been interesting, although they would have had to shorten the period of time the movie was made. But to see like Idris Elba take on James Brown could have been a fascinating idea.
Sure.
Because he's got such storm and fear and passion. I watched Chadwick Boseman on Jimmy Fallon last night, and I don't know if it was Jimmy Fallon's terrible interviewing skills and I actually think Jimmy Fallon's doing a great job on the Tonight Show.
Sure, me too.
He is not an interviewer.
No.
He's a sycophant. He is like an adorer, like like one who just truly loves and likes to have fun and play games.
Sure.
But he didn't get anything out of Chadwick Boseman.
Sure.
And it really bummed me out.
Sure.
The previews for Get On Up look so good.
They look good.
His voice is spot on.
Yep.
The moments are funny. I believe it was created by the same white person who created The Help, the movie. Which was a great movie made by a white person. I loved The Help. I loved The Help unabashedly.
I still haven't seen it. I need to. It's on the short list.
Andy, you're white, right?
I am.
You're gonna love this movie. No, you are though. I loved it. I
know.
Loved it.
I can't wait until I'm rich and I can take black people under my wing and show them the right way to do things. Like Sandra Bullock in The Blind Side, or
Pat Riley in real life.
My God.
I don't have. I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't
Sure.
have to feel fine with it. But I just there's something itching about this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I want? Here's what needs to happen. I need to walk away from this movie believing in Chadwick Boseman and thinking he should deserve an Oscar.
Agreed. Ooh.
If anything less than that happens, it will be a disappointment. And I'm going and expecting that.
I guess my only quibble is and maybe I'm saying the same thing in a different way. My only quibble is this. What I feel like is because it's James Brown and it's because of what you said about 42. Like, you need to be. I would want to come out of this movie going, he's a star. I just saw it happen. He's a star.
Yes.
Which is not necessarily the same thing. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying that if a movie about James Brown is made, and the person who plays James Brown doesn't make me think that he should win every award.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. Yep.
Ray Charles got Jamie Foxx. Johnny Cash got Joaquin Phoenix. This is what I'm saying. So, Harvey Milk got Sean Penn. I don't know. Anyways, okay, let's move on. The other ones on your list that I feel the need to. Okay, I don't need to say anything about the 100-Foot Journey. I liked the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. So we'll go ahead and watch the 100-Foot Journey together. It's on my list as well.
Sure.
About Alex, it's on both of our lists because the cast is just undeniable.
Yeah.
The premise is so pseudo Woody Allen, 21st century neurotic. Well, everybody's with the wrong couple and whatever.
People
but
sitting around and talking. I love The Breakfast Club. I love The Big Chill. I love that. This type of movie is my type of movie.
Sure, it creates a scenario that just feels utterly false to me. But when watching the preview,
right.
But
I also don't mind.
You know what it looks like? You know what it looks like to me, and this is what will not bother you at all, and it will bother me.
Yeah.
It looks like theater.
I was gonna say it looks like a play, and I don't mind that at all.
Right. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody knows that Andy and I. Oh, did you not know this? Andy and I, at the behest of the Gibsonian Institute, undertook a year-long project called Project Melway, which was when we saw every single Mel Gibson movie in chronological order, and talked about it on our podcast. You're welcome to go back and listen to back episodes of us talking about every single Mel Gibson movie in chronological order. Now,
oh, God.
The thing about doing this is, you tell me, people, if you actually made a point of watching every single Mel Gibson movie in chronological order, and then Mel Gibson came out with a new movie, would you see it?
Of course you would.
You have
to.
You have to.
Yep.
Now, that means that I have to watch The Expendables 3. If ever there was a movie I was tricked into seeing, fool me once, it is this one.
Yeah.
But what's sad is, I haven't seen 1 or 2. So I feel like Mel Gibson is responsible for me having to watch 3 movies that I never cared to watch.
I have seen Expendables 1.
I know you have. Yeah.
I am not. Let me put it this way. I remember literally nothing about them, except for one halfway decent moment with Chuck Norris and a pretty good fight scene with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay.
Fair enough.
So I know things. I'm not exactly rewatching the first 2 so that I can be caught up on the mythology of the Expendables film series. I think you're okay if you don't watch the first 2. I know you'll. But I mean, come on. I know you're going to. I would too if I were in your position. I'm just telling you, the disappointment you preemptively feel is not going to be better by the end of it. I'm just throwing it out there.
Fair enough.
Is that it for you for Fool Me Once? Can I?
Oh no. I don't need to say anything about the trip to Italy. Watch the preview. If you don't want to see it, then come on.
I mean, here's why I don't feel qualified to talk about it because I've only seen clips from the first movie or from the television show. It's a movie that I am certain would be lovely, and I'm certain I would enjoy it because I like both of those guys.
Sure.
That's it.
So that's fine. And then I guess the other thing I would say is When the Game Stands Tall is the classic Fool Me Once, because it's like Jim Caviezel, high school football coach, tragedy, terrible title, semi-Christian values underlying the whole thing. Looks vaguely good. Doesn't look bad at all.
Okay.
It's not. I'm not even. I don't. It just. I'm just saying, if it's in the theater and no one is around that day, it's gonna get seen. That's all I'm saying, Andy.
All right.
That's all I'm saying. And The Calling is a serial killer movie starring Susan Sarandon that looks serviceable, and I am a sucker. I am a sucker for serviceable serial killer movies.
No, that's fine. I just have never heard of it. I believe you.
Neither had I until today when I was doing research for
Seriously,
this.
I gotta start using Flickster. Yeah. All right. So
that's all.
Just to real quick hit the ones that you didn't have. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I grew up on the cartoon. I'm gonna watch it. I just am. I'm going to.
Andy,
know.
I have that in a different category.
No, that's fair. Into the Storm. Here's what's tricking me into seeing this. Here's what's fooling me once. The fact that the effects look ridiculous. It's about tornado chasers, and I saw Twister, and this makes Twister look like the kiddie carousel.
What kills me about this movie is the ads for it don't even list anyone who's in it.
Well,
that's how.
Because the people who are in it are the head dwarf from The Hobbit, which nobody knows, and the woman everyone hated from The Walking Dead.
That's my point.
Look, okay, I know that Fool Me Once, as you say, and I agree with you, it's an optimistic category. My optimism for the movie Into the Storm is, I hope I get to see things torn up by tornadoes. It's not, oh, this is a sneaky good movie.
Yeah, and this is where, yep, I hear you. I understand why it's on your list.
Sure.
Andy, did you hear about the movie called What If?
No.
Daniel Radcliffe, Adam Driver, Zoe Kazan. Romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Looks like it clicks every single romantic comedy box.
I heard of it, but I haven't seen anything about it.
I almost didn't mention it.
Okay.
The preview was charming. And I like Zoe Kazan a lot, and I love Adam Driver.
Sure. And I'm a fan of Daniel Radcliffe.
So, and he's fine. I have no problem with him. So it's on my Fool Me Once list because I'm not genuinely excited about it.
Sure.
But I'm genuinely intrigued by it.
So, okay. So, my last two Fool Me Once movies, As Above, So Below. It's yet another found footage horror movie.
Oh, boy.
There are these people, these attractive American youngsters in a foreign country going through catacombs and videotaping the experience. And stunningly, something goes wrong. There were a couple.
Sounds original and exciting.
I know. There were a couple of moments that the trailer got me to go because somebody pulled a bow across violin strings really loud. I'm not going to see it, but if I were, I would feel tricked and fooled. And the last movie, The Last of Robin Hood.
What is this, Andy?
It's about the affair that Errol Flynn had with like a 15-year-old.
Oh boy, boy or girl?
That's funny.
I didn't mean for it to be funny. I literally don't know the answer.
Girl.
Okay.
Starring, wait for it.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now.
Kevin Kline.
Oh God.
As Errol Flynn.
Oh my.
Dakota Fanning. As
the 15-year-old.
Yes, and Susan Sarandon as her mom.
How is this not in your can't hardly wait category? My voice can't get any higher. Andy, the question remains, how is it not in your can't hardly wait category?
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. You clearly don't. I'm excited immediately. The only thing that makes me nervous is it looks like it was actually originally made for 2013, and now it's halfway through 2014 and it hasn't come out yet. And it's an hour and a half long.
So there's that.
Oh, okay. This is you have placed this in the correct category. But my goodness, I want to see this film.
Sure. Yes. It is one of the Fool Me Once category. It's one of the movies I'm most likely to see. All right. Hit me with your what the H.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Sure.
The remake nobody asked for.
Sure.
A movie no one's really sure why they care about. Really, no one is really sure. The people that I know that are like, I was talking to our friend Brian Finkelstein about it, and he was like, the turtles don't look right. And I was like, yeah, but do you actually care? And he's like, no, I guess I don't. You know, like,
Yeah.
like we all have this weird emotional connection to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and there's just like, well, will it be like the original movies? The original movies weren't good. Like, we cared about them because they came out at the right time and they had this certain special joie de vivre that fit like our perception of kids' adventure movies. They're not good.
I need to pull you back. You are down the rabbit hole a little too far if you are using the phrase joie de vivre and the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies.
I'm comfortable with that rabbit hole.
I love you.
Well, the first one.
There we go.
But the second one, by the time they even got to the second one, it all fell apart.
You're right.
The first one was a very definitive movie. It was a defining movie for our generation.
That's fair. Which is an indictment of our generation, but
it is. No, it's not.
Yes.
It's not defining in the sense that a great movie. I don't mean defining like not like Goonies or Stand by Me, but like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No,
it had a comic book nobody actually read. It had a cartoon we all kind of watched sometimes when nothing else was on.
No,
it had a video game.
I watched it religiously.
Okay, well, it had a video game that was terrible.
It was just
and
really
they made
hard.
in like Middle Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Fun Fruits, and that were not very good. Cereal, breakfast cereal. Anyways, I what the H? Why is this even happening? And why are we talking about it? But
Fair.
If enough people say things about it, I might see it.
Fair.
What else do you have in your what the H category, Andy?
I've got two.
Me too.
I've got Child of God.
Okay, not on my list.
I've got Child of God, which is James Franco.
Yep.
Directing.
Yep.
His adaptation of a Cormac McCarthy novel.
Okay.
I feel like this is the movie that What the H was like invented for, or one of them anyway.
I feel like this is the kind of movie for which we created the rule that you don't have to list every movie in August.
No, because no, it's not a movie I'm seeing. It's not a movie I'm excited for. It's not a movie I know. This what the H?
What the H?
And then I don't care if I think you agree with me on this, but the last movie I'm going to talk about, I feel like I'm a lone voice in the wilderness at how bad this first movie was. The movie Sin City was not a good movie. It was visually interesting for the first 15 minutes, and then it was noise. Audio noise, video noise, story dreck. It was terrible. It took people I love. They turned in terrible performances. It wove in 3 storylines, and no one noticed that it was the same storyline, and it was a terrible storyline. And there is a sequel, and it looks awful. Because it looks like more of the same.
I was very intrigued by the first one when I saw it.
Uh-huh.
That in no way means that I actually thought it was any good.
Sure.
I don't. And based on everything else I know about the things that Robert Rodriguez has done in the last 15 years, I just assume you're correct.
Ugh.
I wouldn't even bring this one up.
Sure.
I appreciate you bringing it up so you can be angry. That's a legitimate decision, Andy.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But I don't even want to mention it.
Sure.
Robert
Fair.
Rodriguez, I don't even have anything to say about him anymore.
That's fair.
Andy, his best movie was Spy Kids.
Agreed. I agree with you.
Okay.
His second best movie might be Spy Kids 2.
Might actually be.
Yeah.
His third one would be Desperado, which is glorious. Okay.
Agreed.
But doesn't hold up at all.
I haven't seen it lately,
All right.
but I believe
All right.
it.
August 15th, a little film by the name of Frank comes out.
Oh.
In which Michael Fassbender plays an indie rock star who consistently wears a helmet over his head that covers his whole face and looks like a cartoon head. He never takes it off in the entire movie. And Maggie Gyllenhaal is in it, and that redhead guy that's English that I think was in that time-traveling Love Actually movie.
Domhnall Gleeson or whatever.
Yeah, that's the guy.
He's Brendan Gleeson's kid.
Wonderful. Watch the trailer for the movie Frank without saying what the H.
I'm sure I won't be able to.
Now this is the
it was coming out in
exact
August.
opposite of the what the H Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is what the H? I'm probably gonna see this. It looks cray, Andy.
Sure. Yes, agreed.
Crazy.
Yes.
Okay. Um, okay. I feel like the only way it could look crazier if you saw this trailer, it's like finding out that Get On Up was directed by a white person. Watch the trailer for Frank. If it was directed by a black person, it's the only way the movie could be weirder. Because it just looks like the whitest thing you'll ever see.
Okay. Okay.
Or the whitest thing you'll never see. It's up to you. I don't know. It looks like the kind of indie movie that black people would be like, oh man, what is up with white people? I really think that. Like, I really think that. Okay. And finally, If I Stay.
Okay, I know a little.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
Car accident. On her way to Juilliard, of course.
Because of course.
Can't decide if she's going to go because of the one that she loves.
Because of course.
Right there.
You're right.
Anytime a 17-year-old's not sure what they're going to do with their life because of someone that they love, like because they've fallen in love, like I now agree with the characters in the movies that like say you're going to this school no matter what because I'm not going to let you mess up your life.
Yes.
When I was teaching in high school and I would watch high schoolers like falling in love and being like, they'd be like, Father Duvall, what's going to happen after we graduate? And I was like, y'all are going to break up. And they were like, what? But I'm in love. And I'm like, I know. And your love is real. And it will not last the year.
Dude, that's right.
Have a good time. Anyways. Right. And then she gets in a car accident, and I guess she's like on the brink of living and dying, and somehow her ghost or something is watching over the whole thing and trying to decide if she's going to live or not. I don't. It looks so bug nuts, insane, ridiculous that I had in like melodramatic, and it's got Chloe Grace Moretz, one of the greatest actors of her time, of her generation.
Yeah. I
don't know what is going to happen with this movie. I'm so gleefully excited to find out if it's going to be terrible or not.
Sure.
My bet is that it's going to be terrible. But Andy, what the H?
What the H? Folks, that'll bring us to the end of our August preview.
Yes, it will.
You get out there and see some movies. It's too hot to be outside anyway. Right. It's summer's last gasp, and it'll get you. So,
there's literally no reason for most of you. I mean, I live in a place where you should be outside most of the time, and even I am going to be in there watching movies.
Awesome. Thank you for watching. As always, it's good to be back. We'll try and not no promises, but we'll try and be more regular about it than we have been. Certainly, hard to be less regular. And
there's a constipation joke in there somewhere. Look for it. No, don't look for it. Okay, don't look for it. Sorry.
Phil, I'm not angry.
Oh, good.
I'm just disappointed.
Oh, that's worse. That's much worse.
That's worse than anger. Folks, thanks for watching. For Second Breakfast Podcast, I am Andy Roth, and that is Phil Duvall. And we'll see you again real soon. We swear. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye.
The most